Today, I'm going to summarize a science fiction movie about the mystery of the ocean that goes beyond human knowledge. The movie is set in the deepest point on Earth, the Mariana Trench. Kepler is a research facility that conducts drilling operations over 10,000 meters below sea level. Nora is a mechanical engineer preparing to sleep when she notices flickering lights in the bathroom and decides to investigate. A drop of water falls between her fingers, followed by a violent explosion caused by a pressure leak. Nora rushes frantically through the corridor, screaming to wake up her teammates. But it happened so suddenly that only her colleague Rodrigo manages to keep up with her. Nora overcomes technical difficulties with the computer to secure herself at the hatch. As they are about to close the hatch, two survivors appear at the end of the corridor, pleading to wait. Nora holds on as long as she can, but the water breaches the facility, leaving her no choice but to close the hatch. Next, an explosion occurs, causing both of them to be thrown and rendered unconscious. When they wake up, the intelligent voice informs them that the base structure has been damaged and will soon collapse. The communication system is also damaged, so they cannot contact the surface. Nora decides to make her way to the evacuation module, and the concrete almost blocks their path, but they manage to get through. The vibration is likened to an earthquake of magnitude 11. At this moment, they hear a voice and discover that their friend Paul survived after being trapped by the rocks. He is carefully rescued, and together they crawl through the narrow passage, passing by a deceased teammate, heading towards the evacuation module. Upon reaching the module, they find that all the escape equipment has already been taken, leaving only one man behind, the captain. The captain chose to stay and sent his team away. So, besides the four of them, there are Emily and Liam in the control room, who are the only other survivors. The biggest problem is the cooling tower, which is overheating and could cause another explosion when it reaches its limit. So they can't wait for rescue in that place. The only escape route is to wear a special diving suit, go even deeper, and walk to another base 1 kilometer away. However, there may not be enough oxygen, and the diving suit may not withstand the immense pressure at the bottom of the sea. Liam goes to them and plays the sound of the drill's last transmission, where an unknown noise is heard, seemingly some creature. After everyone is fully dressed, they enter the elevator, feeling a certain fear of what could happen. When they enter the water, they prepare to jump to another elevator. Meanwhile, Rodrigo's visor starts making noise and cracks under the pressure. Nora asks not to open the door, but it's too late. Rodrigo's suit implodes, and what they see next is blood floating in the water. In this way, 5 people descend in the elevator for a temporary respite, and it's evident that Rodrigo's death shakes them. Later, they receive a distress signal, so Paul and Liam prepare to investigate. As soon as the elevator lands on the platform, they step out and warn that it's not safe to stay there for too long, as the platform is unstable. Walking a little further, they come across a body, at which point the captain orders them to return. It's then that a bizarre creature emerges and attacks them, but Liam manages to hit it with a shot. This creature was devouring the body, and they have no idea what it is. As they analyze it, the lights suddenly go out. They grab their flashlights, and at that moment, they hear a noise from outside, and shortly after, the elevator shakes. They wonder if the creature they captured is a baby. The captain points his flashlight towards the skylight, and an unknown creature terrifies everyone. At this moment, the cooling tower of the core explodes, and the powerful impact sends them rapidly plunging to the seafloor. They all rush to put on their helmets and escape from the elevator before it reaches the bottom. Around them, dust forms, hindering their escape from the debris. To save Emily, Liam gets hit, but fortunately he still manages to run with the help of the others. Meanwhile, a creature is seen nearby. They manage to enter a preparation area and discover that Liam's oxygen filter is damaged, and he nearly suffocates. Paul mentions there's something outside, but the captain reassures them, saying it's just the debris falling. Later, they use a transport to reach another station, but midway, they are forced to stop. The passage ahead is broken, and there's a large area of stagnant water, so they can only proceed on foot. Nora, being the smallest, goes ahead to explore the path and confirms that they can pass through, one by one, tethered to a safety cable. When it's Paul's turn, the creature appears again, and upon reaching the other side, he warns them about the monster. Soon after, Paul gets pulled by the sea creature, and the others try to help by holding on to him to prevent him from being pulled away. However, due to the immense strength of the creature, he is pulled out of the suit, leaving only a mist of blood behind. He was killed in a brutal manner. This scene leaves the others terrified, and Emily says they went too far with the excavation and shouldn't have been in that place. Liam is also disheartened, not just because of the extensive damage to his diving suit, but also because he intends to stay there to avoid dragging his team down with him. But the captain repairs the oxygen filter, and this way, they all move forward toward their destination. The ocean is dark, and fear surrounds the four of them. Surveying the scattered ruins of the base, they realize this is the consequence of pushing the limits of the ocean floor, awakening dreadful sea creatures, one of which passes right before their eyes. They huddle together and turn off their flashlights, relying on the captain's infrared light in the hope of staying safe. Suddenly, Nora turns around and notices that Liam has disappeared. He was attacked and dragged into a cave, prompting the captain to quickly go after him for a rescue. However, the creature returns, and the captain is dragged away. Nora, who is connected to the cable, is also pulled along. The two of them are taken by the creature without any chance to react, and they only come to a stop when Nora hits a platform. She steadies herself, feeling a bit disoriented, and the captain's voice through the radio wakes her up. He is trapped just below her. Nora looks back, and there she sees the monster, face to face. The creature attacks Nora, biting her helmet. The captain rushes to the rescue, frantically striking the monster, which quickly pulls them upward. The high speed creates a sudden pressure difference, and the diving suit warns them to reduce speed. The captain shouts at Nora, telling her to release the cable and save herself, but she wants to go back with him. In this way, the captain has no choice but to detach the cable. The diving suit can't withstand the pressure and implodes. Nora is thrown down to the bottom of the ocean, and when she wakes up, she sees the dark expanse, alone and screaming Emily's name. When she turns around again, she sees a tentacle, but it's just an octopus. However, she's still scared and stumbles, accidentally touching a fiber optic cable. Following the cable, Nora discovers an abandoned base. After entering it, Nora takes a moment to recover and gather her thoughts amid the intense drama she's experiencing. Witnessing the death of her teammates has left her unsure of where to go, not to mention the lurking monsters in the shadows. She tries to contact her teammates through the radio and calls for help from the surface, but receives no response. In the midst of her internal struggle, Nora notices another diving suit in the locker, and her gaze becomes determined. She takes a map and lays it on the table to chart her route. Then she grabs a flare gun and ventures back into the dangerous darkness of the sea. Along the way, she talks to herself, hoping someone might hear her. Moments later, she hears Emily's voice through the radio, declaring her love for Liam. Nora follows a trail on the ground and finally finds Emily, who is already becoming frantic with the situation. Nora rushes to her and brings her back to consciousness by jumping on her, and their reunion renews their will to live. Nora also learns that when she and the captain were dragged by the monster, Emily was carrying the unconscious Liam towards their destination. Nora continues to speak, boosting Emily's self-esteem as they both drag Liam along. After some time of walking, they finally reach their destination, but they have to pass through an area where several creatures are sleeping. It's the passage that leads to the gate, so Nora and the others have no choice but to walk among the creatures. They move delicately, trying not to wake them, but the oxygen alarm on Nora's diving suit goes off, and a creature's arm reaches for Nora's helmet. She doesn't move until the arm retreats on its own. It was a false alarm. However, seconds later, the creature grabs Nora, and Emily takes the opportunity to escape. The creature engulfs Nora in its mouth, and in a panic, she grabs the flare gun and shoots it into the monster's belly, managing to kill it and escape from that perilous situation. That awakens the other monsters, but they disappear. Then Nora notices a massive shadow in front of her. She reloads her flare gun and fires it at the shadow, revealing a terrifying giant Cthulhu creature. It uses its tentacles to move, causing a huge explosion that hits Nora, rendering her unconscious. Later, Emily finds her and drags her to safety. Nora regains consciousness, and with Emily's help, they manage to enter the base where Liam is. Nora still faces an issue with oxygen, but Emily finds a solution. The three of them take off their diving suits and run towards the escape pods. Through the window, they observe the terrifying creature they must escape from. Upon reaching the pod room, Nora realizes one of the pods isn't working. Despite the malfunction, she instructs Liam to go first, and he is successfully launched. Emily senses that something is wrong, and they argue over who should go next. Nora has to use force to get Emily into the pod. Emily is launched, passing dangerously close to the Cthulhu creature, and Nora is left behind, unable to do much to help. What she didn't expect was that the Cthulhu would release a group of monsters, and through the control panel, she realizes that the escape pods would be reached by them. Nora rushes to the computer and activates the self-destruct button for the cooling core, calculating a safe area for her colleagues. With only 1 minute left until the explosion, Nora goes to the window and looks at the monster one last time, as if it senses what's about to happen and attempts to flee. At that moment, a massive explosion occurs, hitting the Cthulhu. Thus, Nora and the monsters die together. On the surface, it is reported that 2 survivors were rescued, but no details of the accident were disclosed, and the information remained confidential. However, the company plans to restart the excavations as soon as the facility is rebuilt.